Understand something. Plain and simple. To me, Abigail was a delicious poison. An intoxicating, overwhelming poison. Yowie wowie! That felt good!
Have you let him in? We have. And we've let you guys into another episode of Abby's Window. Really excited about tonight because it looks like we're going to get some exciting things tonight. And that involves a field trip. So not real sure what to make of that, but we will discuss that. So as always, we have our resident Abby. Jodie, how are you?
I'm here. How are you?
You're here? Listen, it's a Monday, so it's been a long day. But anytime we get to discuss Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, and his world, that's a good day. So very happy that we get to do that. And I want to shout out some folks while we are just getting started here. So Texas Star Fan in a Coma, Moda, Gamer Guy, Jen Carter, Jason Peace, James Chadwick, Butterspark, Drift Lewis, Sean Rousset, Robert Morris, B Tazzy, what's up? Shane Loki, Nathan Salas, John Cena Gamer 0809, Sonny Wolf, hello, Elijah Washington, the one and only Rusty Shackelford is here. And yeah, there we go. We also
The
have
usual
Kate.
gang.
Yeah, I mean, the gang's all here. Thank you guys for joining us. And if you're new to the channel, please, please, please subscribe. If you haven't done so already, please like the video. And that helps us out a lot in getting this Bray centric show out to the masses. So help us do that, because I guarantee you we are the only Bray centered show out there. Guaranteed. So Jodie.
Yeah.
We're getting a field trip tonight.
Woo-hoo. Who doesn't love field trips?
What are we what do we think this is going to be tonight?
I don't even know. Some kind of really fun Funhouse episode on the road.
Yes, we're going to have the traveling road show that is the Firefly Funhouse tonight, I believe. Any chance we get some hijinks where Randy
Shenanigans.
Our favorite word, shenanigans. Are we going to get some shenanigans where Randy finds his way to the Firefly Funhouse?
I think it's definitely possible.
Okay.
Because he invited himself last week and didn't get to go. Poor Randy.
Yeah, poor Randy. And you know what? Speaking of poor Randy, honestly, this was a really good match last week. We saw Bray Wyatt against Randy Orton, and it was a good match. And the moment that shocked the world is when we get the lights dimmed and we see that after Randy has RKO'd Bray and goes to pin him, he is now face to face with the Fiend. And I mean, everyone was wilded. And like, how in the heck did he do that? And there were some elements there that took us back to Undertaker, where you have the disappearance and reappearance. So Jodie, tell me a little bit about what you thought of this moment.
I thought it was great. I mean, I kind of figured it was going to happen. Not quite that way. I figured we'd get some kind of appearance of the Fiend, either on the Titantron or the lights go out and Bray disappeared and you see the Fiend laughing. So I figured we'd get some kind of appearance of the Fiend. But I really liked the way it happened. I thought it was a very neat moment, because if that were live, they wouldn't be able to do it. If that were with fans in the building, they wouldn't have been able to do that cinematic moment like that. So I'm glad they took the opportunity to do it.
I thought it was absolutely fascinating to get that moment. And I mean, and honestly, it's all about camera tricks and lighting. But if anyone joined us last night when we discussed our top 10 supernatural gimmicks, according to us and our opinions, then we see this guy as a very highly rated supernatural superstar. And
yes.
This was a moment. We've got Christian joining us from Germany. Wow.
All right.
That's awesome. He's joining us on Facebook. So thank you. We've also got C Wrestling and J Box Boy, X Nanners X from Twitch. So we've got a got a good crowd in here. So, honestly, this was just magic. I mean, it was just magic. It was a magical moment, and I think this was an evolution moment for the Fiend. This was a moment that, we'll look at probably a year from now and say, do you remember when?
You
And
remember that moment when Bray turned into the Fiend?
yes, yes. Do you remember that? And honestly, this is going to be great. X Nanners X says plays into the true mastery of mind games. Couldn't agree more. That's absolutely what we got there. So I think Rusty asked a question that we have up on screen, Jody. Do you think they'll do the story of Randy trying to burn it down after Seth couldn't do it?
Well, I mean, when it comes to Bray Wyatt, Randy does like to use fire. He has that history of fire, and there's been a lot of mentions in the episodes of fire. You get the torment of Bray every time somebody mentions Randy, or he hears, the fire, and he said fire a lot. It's gonna be fire, and so I think that's highly possible that flames will be involved in this somehow.
Do you think we get a stipulation for the match on Sunday that involves fire?
I would love that. Like
I
an
would
Inferno
too.
match.
Yeah.
But being that it's TLC, I'm going to say no.
Okay. Do you think we see that down the line?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
What if, now that they've gone on this road trip and set up their new Funhouse, what if Randy burns down the old one?
See, now you and these darn theories.
Yeah.
Dang it.
I'm surprised my brain is working after today, but
Hey, listen, I completely understand. C Wrestling said, Hell in a Cell that is on fire. Merry Christmas. Robert Morris says, flaming table match. I kind of like that.
Ooh, I dig that.
Yeah, I like that. Let's see here. J Box Boy says Fiend in an Inferno match needs to happen. Absolutely.
Yes, but I think the best person for the Fiend to have an Inferno match with is Kane.
Yes, and retire Kane that way.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Butter says more questions. Yes, throw them at me. I'm fun.
Yeah,
I like answering questions. Throw them out there.
Yeah. James Tadwick says need an Inferno match. Surely at some point, but can't really see WWE doing that anymore. Yeah, and let's see here, KC, because listen, we like to highlight people's opinions that don't always agree with us. And Jody, I'm going to let you handle this, but KC says, I'm sorry, how could you pick the Fiend as a good supernatural character with a record of 6-2? Care to explain that, Jody? And people in the chat.
Well, I mean, Bray is a supernatural character. I mean, you can't have a character like the Fiend that has, a supernatural place called the Firefly Funhouse and not call them a supernatural character. Supernatural character doesn't mean that they win every match. Undertaker didn't win every match.
That's right. I mean, a lot of people consider Undertaker one of the greatest of all time, and he doesn't have the same title history as a Randy Orton or John Cena or who else am I forgetting? Triple H. It's all about the presentation of the character. And, this character, why we see this as a supernatural character is all the elements that he brings. Whether it's the horror elements, the ability to appear and disappear, the ability to change people that he comes into contact with. I mean,
Yeah.
in and of itself, the hurt and heal gloves make him a supernatural character. So, yeah, that's just the way that's why we think. That's why we think that. I mean,
and that's fine if you don't think that way. I mean, everybody is entitled to their opinions, but I consider him a supernatural character because of the elements that he possesses as a character, not based on his match record.
Yeah. That's yeah. You said it perfectly. No need for me to even elaborate on anything because you said that perfectly. So, guys, keep your questions and comments coming here, so we can keep doing this because this is fun. This is what when all of you are engaged in the show, that makes this that much more fun for us. So, so definitely keep that going. So then we get this moment, and don't you just love to see that? The Fiend looking all sadistic, and I love it. I love it. So,
the darker he gets, the more excited we get.
Exactly. John Cena Gamer says, hopefully we see Alexa. So let's go to that, Jody. Do you think we see Alexa tonight?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Because I think she's going to play into the story a little bit for TLC. I kind of said last week, what if she gets, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point Randy kidnaps her. And that was the Easter egg of the doll in the cage. But yeah, if we don't see her tonight, we will see her again very soon. I heard a rumor that she was filming something. So
yeah, the rumor is that both her and Charlotte Flair are involved in in some type of a TV series that's like an 80s throwback. I'm guessing that they're redoing Charlie's Angels somehow, some way.
I heard it was a Punky Brewster remake.
That's even better because Punky Brewster was my jam back in the day. I'm just gonna date myself there, but
but I will say, if she's not there tonight, don't be discouraged. She'll be back for sure.
Yeah, that's she's not done with this story by a long shot, folks.
Oh no, not at all.
This is just getting started. Even though this is a Bray centered show, this we can tie this in to Bray. Let's see. Anthony asked if the rumors are true that Moxley may use his opt out for his contract in AEW. Do you think he resigns with WWE if Vince offers him limited dates and a big money contract?
I said a long time ago when they were, when people were theorizing about a new Wyatt family, that if that was going to happen, one of the things I wanted to see was a heel Shield versus a new Wyatt family. And you remember, I mean, Bray and Dean Ambrose had some amazing matches. I mean, absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen any of those matches between him and Dean Ambrose, go back and watch some of them because they are absolutely fantastic. Other than Randy, I think it was one of my favorite feuds because they are just so good in the ring together. I mean, it was pure brilliance. So if he does come back to WWE, I definitely want to see that feud for sure because it was brilliant.
Yeah. And a lot of people think that Moxley, because he said he's never coming coming back. Maybe he doesn't. Who knows? But I will say that money talks.
Yep.
And money will make you forget a lot of things, especially if it's the right price tag. So,
and
definitely
isn't Renee back too in
that
WWE now?
I don't think. I think she's done some stuff backstage,
Okay.
but yeah, I don't think she's like back full time with the company, and especially now that she's pregnant. And
I was gonna
um,
say, isn't she expecting?
yes, she is. So, and that was like the weirdest way to find out that she was pregnant in his promo on AEW Dynamite. Like, hey, I got a pregnant wife at home. Wait, what? That's very in the
What?
lead, dude. That's very in the lead. But yeah, yeah. If he does
Right?
come back, I definitely want to see him, whatever his name is, come back and feud with the Fiend. That's all I want.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
yeah, just give us that. Give us that, that fire match that we want to see. Not actual fire, but I'd be okay if they included fire too. I wouldn't be mad at that. Yeah, so Jodie, we have obviously we have TLC this weekend, and a lot of people have said, I don't know how I feel about this matchup. I don't know, what's going to take place. Are we going to get an actual match here? So two things here, and I'll go back to the TLC thing, but Rusty asked a question, so we're going to discuss it. Is there any chance that the Fiend will get involved in the Roman versus Goldberg match, seeing as there's history all around that?
My heart tells me please do it. My head tells me there's no way Vince is going to let that happen.
Okay.
Because Roman and Goldberg are his two, for lack of a better term, golden balls. And no, I don't think he's going to let anybody interfere in that match.
Okay. So TLC. What are you expecting from TLC this weekend?
A beautiful disaster. No, not a beautiful disaster. Beautiful. What did he call it when he was feuding with Braun Strowman?
That's a good question. Folks in the chat.
I can't remember. A beautiful horror movie. Yes, it will be some beautiful storytelling. I actually think it's going to be a really good match too. I showed the match between him and Bray to my daughters, and they both had the same question. They said, "How the heck does Bray wrestle in jeans and a sweater and nice shoes?" So I think that's, just for that, him and versus the Fiend will be a better match because he's not dressed in normal clothes. If that makes sense.
That makes sense. Definitely makes sense. So here's another question.
Not that, tight spandex pants and a mask is easy to wrestle in either, but
no. Never wrestled in a mask,
I would imagine it to be a little bit easier than jeans and a sweater.
Let's see. Ooh, good question by Joey's Adventures here. Jodie, would you want to see the Fiend versus Randy in a 3 Stages of Hell match?
Yes, please. I actually think, with this cinematic and fans not being in the building, they have an opportunity to kind of revisit the House of Horrors match.
Now, okay, I'm glad you brought that up because there are so many differing opinions on that match.
Yes.
Some people loved it. A lot of people hated it. So how would you change that match if you were the person with the pencil that booked it?
I think for me, I thought it was a really good match. I think it kind of lost its momentum when they came back to the ring. So I think that's what I would change. I would keep the momentum inside the house.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of do it that way, away from the ring, instead of having part of it in the house and then part of it in the ring. I think it works for some things. Obviously on NXT with Halloween Havoc, I think it worked well for them. But I think for that particular match, I would keep it inside the house.
Okay. Yeah. And I know Moda said earlier that, we need to, I want to revisit that cabin that Kyle put out there, darn it.
Yes.
Like I want to have a match in there. Let's get crazy. Let's get creative.
Like a different House of Horrors,
Yeah. Yeah. And
which is, I think that's what we were expecting from the Funhouse match.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm disappointed in the Funhouse match at all, because it was amazing, but right. I think this is a perfect time to do a cinematic match like that with Randy.
Yeah. Anthony, I'll ask again, who would you add to the current, if you have a Wyatt Family 2.0, who would you add? Let's just go ahead and say we have Alexa and Bray. Who else would you add?
Ugh. I don't even know, because I've never really been a big fan of creating a new Wyatt family, so I couldn't. I have no idea. I wouldn't mind seeing Aleister Black get added to it. I wouldn't mind seeing KO. I wouldn't mind seeing KO get added to it. I think he's good. He could be really good as a dark character.
Moda says, how about Dabba-Kato?
I don't know who that is.
He was the big guy with the dreads that fought against Braun in Raw Underground.
Yeah. Yeah. That could definitely be interesting. Somebody said Karrion Kross.
Rusty.
For me, it's more with Karrion Kross. I would like to see a feud between Karrion Kross and Scarlett versus The Fiend and Alexa. More than them becoming a family, I'd like to see them feud. Yeah.
I mean, I think it'd be cool if they became a family after the feud.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely. Eric Buchanan, thank you for joining us, buddy. Meant to shout you out earlier, but Eric asked, Jeff and Jody, how do you feel about Randy Orton versus The Fiend in a Firefly Funhouse match?
I don't know that it fits the storyline. I think it fit really well with Cena because of what it was. It went through all of the stages of his career and how much he has changed. Well, Randy has not changed much in his WWE career. I don't even think his ring attire has changed all that much. So I don't think that style of match would really fit this particular feud. I definitely think that I would like to see something, that they're paying, not tribute, but they're revisiting, what Randy did to Abigail.
Gotcha.
Because that's a big part of the story.
Yeah. KC says Lars Sullivan. I saw someone say Bo Dallas. I think it's interesting that and maybe this is for other reasons, and honestly, wouldn't surprise me with Laura Sullivan, but they're saying that he's no longer doing tapings with SmackDown. So,
Hmm.
you can make of that what you will, but we know that he's not not recording anymore with them. Eric Harper says, someone said this earlier, but do you think there's a reason why Rambling Rabbit is not being advertised on the field trip, but the Vince puppet is?
I think there's definitely a reason why all characters are included. Because Ramblin' Rabbit is not the only one missing from the field trip banner. Alex is missing too.
That's right. That's right. That is exactly right.
Maybe Ramblin' Rabbit gets killed by Randy.
Maybe so. Maybe so. Let's see here. Moda says, what if you get Taker's son at some point to join the Wyatt family? Keep that angle going.
How old is his son?
That I don't know.
I thought they had like a young son, unless he has another kid.
No, he's got a few other kids other than the two young daughters.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Matt the Misfit says, I don't think Alexa will be on Raw tonight. I think she is currently self-quarantining since she traveled to LA, which is why she wasn't advertised for the Funhouse field trip. That's what I think. So,
yeah, I think that's probably right.
yeah. Let's see here. C Wrestling says Rambling Rabbit is already at the Thunderdome. He's been behind Orton for multiple weeks and appeared in his doorway last week. That is true. That is very true.
That's true. And they were in the new place last week. No, they weren't they?
No. Raw was at the Amway Center, but SmackDown moved to the new. So
Ramblin' Rabbit hasn't been at the new location yet.
Right. So we'll get to see him at the new Funhouse location, at the new Thunderdome location. Moda says, what if Alexa and Rambling are left out to guard the Funhouse?
I don't know. I kind of feel like this is more going to be a fun thing.
Yeah.
That they're moving everybody to the new location. I think this is going to be more of a fun, lighthearted thing.
I got you. More fun than anything else.
Yeah.
Wrestling Days fan, thank you for joining, buddy. Says, who do you think Bray will face at Mania?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Brock.
Really?
I don't know.
Now that's interesting. That is interesting.
I'm going to go out on a limb.
Well, when do you think that's going to get started?
Just before the Rumble.
Okay. So you think... So I know we talked about this before, but you think that this is just the first stage of Orton and the Fiend? You think that we may see the end result being cult leader Bray being the last matchup for Randy?
Yeah, I think it's going to be like a swamp match in reverse.
Gotcha.
I could be totally wrong, but
gotcha.
I don't think it's over after TLC. I think there'll be some more. But if you think about WrestleMania, it's the grandest stage of them all. It's the Super Bowl of WWE, and to have Bray fight as anybody besides the Fiend just wouldn't do it justice. And obviously, if the story is that it's going to be Roman versus Goldberg, then that's going to be your main event. But you also have to put the Fiend with somebody, being that he is still the biggest merch seller. Congratulations, Bray.
That's right.
Being that he's still the biggest merch seller, they're going to want to give him a big match. And I would love, like I said before, I'd love to see Jeff Hardy, Fiend versus Willow, but I just don't think that's big enough for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree
think
with
the biggest match that they could book for him that would fit with his storyline would be Brock.
Okay. That I'd like to see that. I really would like to see that. I'd like to see the Fiend and Willow for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
At some point.
I just don't think WrestleMania is where that needs to happen.
Yeah. Let's see. James Chadwick says one WrestleMania I would love to see is the Fiend and Alexa versus Triple H and Steph. Interesting. Eric Buchanan asks, Jodie, how would you feel if Bray got injured and took time off and then came back as Husky Harris?
I don't have to answer that because the likelihood of that happening is 0.
He'll never
no,
never be Husky Harris again.
No, he has said many, 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 many times that character was not him at all, and he will, he's gonna stick to characters that are more suited to how he is.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't think we'll see a return of Husky Harris.
No.
Anytime
That's why
soon.
we've got Huskus the Pig Boy.
Yeah. Representation there.
Yeah.
I think I saw Jesse Callan in here.
Yep.
Hello, Jesse. Thank you for joining us. Let's see here. Okay. So here's another question for you. And first off, let me go to this comment from C Wrestling because this is brilliant. He says WWE should have had Orton set Edge on fire or something to write him off TV. Then Bray can resurrect the dead, bringing Edge back to face Orton, keeping Bray and Orton active with Edge versus Orton.
That would have been an interesting angle.
Yeah. Yeah, to say the very least, that would have been very, very, very interesting.
Yes.
Joey's Adventure says, I met Bray a few times. He won't even sign Husky Harris pictures as Husky. He signs them with Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm surprised he even will sign a picture of Husky Harris at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that's, yeah. Yeah, one would think that he would be ready to be completely away from that gimmick. So,
yeah.
Jacoby Snow says, I'm here. Welcome. Let's see. Drift Lewis asked, I know it's off topic, but when is Edge meant to return? That is a good question. Chat, help Drift Lewis out because I have no idea, honestly. There have been several things thrown out there that, one is maybe at the Rumble. Who knows? But
I
I'm not
think
sure.
we will see him at the Rumble.
Okay. You think Rumble?
Yep.
It's a good call.
That's what I think. Although he may choose a different time since that element of surprise is gone since he did it last year.
Okay. Here's something crazy.
Maybe we don't see until Mania.
Okay, but here's something crazy. What if we see him Sunday?
Oh, I would die.
What happens if Orton and the Fiend are going at it and we get an appearance from Edge? Like, and that's your introduction into that storyline if you want to go there.
But which way is that going to go? Is he going to help Randy and piss off the Fiend, or is he going to help the Fiend and piss off Randy?
And that's the beauty of
you could go either way there.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, if he helps Orton, then what's the motive for helping Orton? I mean, they've been bitter rivals. If he helps the Fiend, do we see a darker version of Edge now? Do we see him revert back to the days of the Brood?
I think that could work if he helps Randy, because then you're going to piss off the Fiend and you're going to end up in a mandible claw.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've said before, I think the mandible claw is what changes people.
Yeah. C says, what if Fiend and Orton are going at it and Fiend transforms into cult leader Bray? Mind games.
Oh, I would die.
I think at that point, we'd have to find a way to get some medical attention to Jodie.
Yeah.
Because
if that happens, I hope that everybody watching our watch along is wearing earplugs.
Yes.
Because anytime cult leader Bray shows up on my TV, I am jumping up and down like a kid on Christmas morning. So
yeah. I mean, I'm fully prepared for my soundboard to blow up if that happens. Yeah. It's just gonna explode, and just be prepared, folks, if that does happen.
It'll be initial shock and silence, followed by screaming like a little schoolgirl.
Hey, it's all
so
good.
I'm just preparing everybody. If that happens, there will be an initial moment of silence, of shock, followed by, oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah, and
way louder than
that. C says, just be ready to mute you. So
I'll mute myself.
Jesse says, I don't want Edge stealing Bray's thunder, but that's just my opinion. It's a fair point.
Yeah, that kind of already happened to him when Roman came back.
Yeah, that's very true.
Which ticked everybody off.
Yeah. Eric Harper says, Jeff, you bringing up the darker Edge has me thinking last week Bray attacked Randy, and as seen in the past, those have changed before the actual match with him. Could we see changes with Randy tonight?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes. I think anytime somebody... Honestly, and I know we've theorized about this before, about what change actually means to each person. I think for Randy, it's going to make him darker.
Yeah. Which is scary.
Yeah. It's terrifying.
Like, how can we get a more demented Randy Orton?
I don't know.
What does that look like?
Maybe we start hearing the voices in his head. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we start to see how the voices are affecting him more.
Yeah, maybe then the voices in his head are no longer in his head. Maybe they're now audible for the
Yep.
world to hear.
Or maybe
Just-
he starts seeing the voices in his head.
Yeah.
Kind of like Bray, the voices in his head are now puppets.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm getting so many ideas from that. Oh man, it's just there's so many ideas that come to mind with that.
Mhm.
Elijah Washington says, didn't Bray give Randy the mandible claw? Does Randy change tonight? He did tease that Viper gimmick on Twitter. I think so.
Because
I
he
think so.
was the legend killer before. Now
Mhm.
maybe he goes back to being the Viper.
Yeah. Yeah.
But a more darker Viper.
Butterspark says maybe Randy will become a creature himself.
Mm-hmm.
Moda says, I want to know when we see Sammy the Snake or Victor the Viper in the Funhouse. Hey, who knows? Who knows? Matt thinks that Alexa will cost Randy the match on Sunday.
I don't think Alexa's going to be there.
You don't think she's going to be there?
Mm-mm.
Maybe later?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see it down the line.
Big Dan asks, could we possibly see an Orton home invasion by Bray?
We've never seen Orton's house. That would be really strange.
It'd be different. Day Vision Gamers says, I can imagine Brock versus Bray the Fiend. Yeah, I would love to see Brock and the Fiend.
Yeah.
Simply because I want to see how many finishers they have to do to each other before one of them is done.
You know, Brock only has 2 moves, so.
Well, yeah. But I will say this though, all jokes aside, I honestly believe that Brock is one of the best in terms of selling other people's stuff.
Yes.
If he's dialed in and he likes you, which I don't know the relationship between he and Bray, but if he likes you, I mean, just think back to his feud with Drew. I mean, he sold the heck out of everything that Drew did.
Yeah, he did.
So,
and in terms of brute strength, I mean, Brock's one of the best out there.
Yeah.
He's only got 2 moves, but he does them well.
He does. He does them very well. Very well. So, yeah, I mean, gosh.
Unlike somebody else we know.
Yeah, he who shall not be named.
Voldemort.
Elijah Washington says, I mean, Jeff, something similar to Jake the Snake Roberts with Randy Orton. More darker and talks calm. Yeah, I mean, I think
when Randy is most scary is when he's not saying anything.
Yes. Yes,
like
that's yeah. Like he just completely goes. It's just complete radio silence.
Yeah,
and
like, what the heck is he thinking?
Exactly. It's just like what do we see? What are we about to get here? I do think though. I think it'd be really cool if he embraced the Viper a little bit more, like not just the couple things he does in the ring, but I'd really like to see him go all in on that character and really be like the Snake and start to see some physical changes. Not saying he's got to put on a mask or anything, but see some physical changes that lead us to believe that he's really transforming. The other cool thing I think would be awesome, is if somehow, some way he had scales like on his arms
Mm-hmm.
or something. I mean, I know I'm.
Well, you got to think what's scary about a snake. They sneak up on you.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, Randy's the most scary when he's not saying anything.
Mm-hmm. Eric Buchanan says, "What if Edge does what Randy did to Bray, help Orton gain his trust, then Edge screws him over, then Randy versus Edge at Mania?"
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. I'm just trying to I'm just trying to get Edge back into the picture somehow. So anything involving Edge, I'm
We
all
just
down
want Edge back.
I just want yeah, I just want Edge back. I mean, he's one of my favorites. So I just want Edge back. Okay, Jody, do we have any new merch?
I don't know.
I
think
haven't
so.
heard much on the merch front lately.
No, I don't think so.
Yep. So we're good. So if this is okay, Jody, we're gonna wrap a little early because we've got a special a new time for our good friend DJB Tazzy. He is doing his he's doing everything at 7 now.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be on for a couple more minutes, and then we want everyone here. If you want to get hyped and get ready for Raw, go join DJ B Tazzy on his channel and get your get your energy up and all of that. And DJ B Tazzy does a great job.
He brings the energy.
He brings the energy. He brings the fun. So yeah, let's when we end here, folks, if you don't mind, go over and support DJ B Tazzy. And if you haven't subscribed to his channel, please do so. He does some great stuff. So, Jody, we're getting a field trip.
Yay!
What what do you think at the end of the night? What do you think we're saying when this is all done?
Oh my gosh.
I think so.
That's it. And I've got my wonderful little schedule on Mondays and Tuesdays now, so I don't have to go to sleep early because I've got my schedule set up so I don't have to be at work on Tuesdays until 11. So
yeah,
I don't have to go to bed early.
So now you can consume the greatness that is Bray Wyatt and not have to worry about waking up early. And I mean, I know if you're like if you're like me, after you watch things like this, it's kind of like your mind keeps racing.
Yeah.
And you try to break down theories and all that stuff. So Moda says what he's going to be saying, or what we may be saying, is OMG, the bus is on fire and Randy is inside.
I would be totally cool with that. That's
Holy
totally
bleep and bleep, man. Joey's Adventure says, I kind of want Paige to be there and meet Abby the Witch. Dave Vision Gamer says, Bray Wyatt is after the fighters since December last year, so he has been attacking the fighters for over a year. Matt says Ramblin' Rabbit was actually in the commercial for Raw.
Oh, okay. So maybe maybe he's going to be driving the bus.
Wouldn't we love to see Ramblin' driving the bus?
Yes.
Like just
Ramblin' can drive the bus.
Yeah, maybe he'll have his wife and kids on there. Who knows?
Maybe. Then you can set the bus on fire with Ramblin' Rabbit inside.
Absolutely. Big Dan says Rambling Rabbit on Raw Talk. I would love to see that.
Heck yeah.
Put him on there. And this is completely unrelated, but if you guys have not watched Talking Smack, what Paul Heyman has been doing on there is just absolute brilliance. I mean, it's just brilliant. He had this moment with Big E where he basically said, think about it now. Does anyone ever bring up the Shield when Roman Reigns is in the ring? And he had Big E thinking about, leaving all the New Day stuff behind and really embracing this opportunity as a singles competitor. So really fascinating stuff. Eric Harper ask, is there really going to be a bus? I don't know.
I don't know.
We hope so.
That would be really, really cool.
Yes, it would.
But it has to be. It has to be a school bus.
Yes, has to be.
Yeah.
Elijah says, Jody and Jeff, that is so true. Randy and Bray got history. They were a tag team on SmackDown. I think. Can they tell that story with those two? Yes, they can.
Mm-hmm.
They can. C Wrestling says, Rambling Rabbit and R-Truth. Yes, please. Absolutely. Those two on Raw Talk?
No, it'd be Rambling Rabbit and Jimmy, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, little Jimmy could make an appearance there. So Sean Rousset says, R-Truth would leave the Raw Talk set if Rambling Rabbit was there. Probably. Probably. Oh my goodness. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Jody, any final thoughts? I mean, I know we will have our prediction show coming up this weekend on Saturday, but any final thoughts that you want to give to our wonderful people that have joined us tonight?
I think at some point, and this is just me spitballing, with Bray being on Raw so much that one of these days, not every week, just at some point, I think that we should live stream Raw.
Okay. We'll have to think about that and can take that under consideration. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Just so then you can get, the live reaction of what Bray's doing.
Very true.
Because there's been a lot of times that I'm like, oh, I wish we could go live right now and talk about this. I don't want to wait for a week, but
I know. I've gotten those messages before. Can we go live? I wish we could go live right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And
Big Dan, thank you.
Yeah.
I wish that we could get Bray himself on the podcast as well.
Yes. Yeah. So Bray, if you're listening,
come hang out with us.
Hit us up, man. Hayden Garrett says Ramblin' doesn't have a bus license. You know what? He doesn't need one.
Yeah.
He can just figure it out.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Really had a lot of fun. And this is always a fun show.
My gosh, I just had a thought.
Uh-oh.
What if Alexa is there and she's dressed up like a teacher on the Magic School Bus?
Holy crap. Miss Fizzle.
Yes. And it's going to be jump on the Funhouse school bus.
Oh, if they do the theme?
Yes.
Like the Magic School Bus theme, but just change it. Oh my God. Okay.
On the Funhouse school bus.
Right on the Funhouse school bus. There we go.
Yep.
All right, hit us up, WWE. I know Vince likes to write things right before the show, so hit us up, Miss Frizzle. Yes.
Yes. We have
hit us
to get
up.
Alexa dressed up like Miss Frizzle.
Jody, that is amazing. That is so awesome. And
Yeah.
everyone got to hear my poor singing. So, um, guys, thank you so much. And if the Magic School Bus thing happens, you got to hit
I
up
will.
Jodie on
I will
Twitter.
pass out. Yeah, I will just pass out.
But I mean, you've called things before, so I'm not
That's true.
surprised. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your night. Enjoy Raw, and yeah, I mean, just have some fun tonight, and hopefully we see Alexa as Miss Frizzle.
Yeah, make it happen, Bray.
And apparently, my Alexa device heard me say Alexa and is now talking to me. So, on that note, folks, we will see you next time. And she's still talking, and I'm not real sure why. So, thank you guys so much.
She's
And go join Tazzy right now. Go join him. See you guys.